Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Sept of the Howlin' Winds, San Diego werewolf venue. In this scene, we're gonna start out a young Kyle. Fella thinks he deserves Adren, so he's gonna seek out the new Adren Theurge on Sept to try and challenge her for Adren.
Kyle is a bit nervous today because he's had a long time to think about what he's going to do, how he's going to, do the thing, if he's going to do the thing, um, if he's ready, and he is a little bit beside himself, talking to Desiree, just kind of getting out like the nervousness before he goes and sees guillotines the worm. And he'll give her a quick hug before he runs off and goes to
You can do it.
I know, but I could do this, but oh my shit. As he just looks back at her, falls, laughs, waves at her again. I got this.
She's smiling, happy, excited.
With that, he's going to the Fiona part of the step because that's where she should be.
And she is. You see her, she has a little fire made outside the cabins. Uh, Seems to be cooking something on it. Smells really good.
And he'll walk up to the can, smile. Is Alona around?
Oh, the new one of the new ones.
Mm.
Yeah, she's. I think she's down by the lake. She was like playing with the water or something. I don't know. She's
Can
weird.
I, can I have a bowl of whatever that is?
Uh, he tears off a chunk of the meat that's being roasted on the fire and hands it to you.
Takes the chunk, noms at the chunk, hands full of grease, devours it, and heads down to the lake.
You'll see her. She's sitting in the water, so like she's in deep enough that it goes up to right below the shoulders.
Wow. Uh, Guillotine's the worm, Raya.
Aye.
Kyle will show neck. I have something to ask you.
Well, come and have a seat then.
Have a seat. Okay. Um, you mean get into the water?
It's easier to talk that way. If you're closer, don't have to yell across.
Kyle will golly, fuck it. Uh, gets into the water. And he will guillotine. Guillotine's the worm. Agent of the nation. I, bleeding fire. Boston of the nation. Challenge you for the rank of Adrian.
She raises an eyebrow, and for a moment, it almost looks like there's a mental struggle going on. Kind of clenches her teeth. Her eyes squint shut, and she just kind of shakes her head before it returns to her relaxed aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Challenging for Adrian. Well, it's quite a thing. Let's see. Something appropriate. What's something appropriate? I know. I know just the thing. I want you to go. It'll require a bit of travelling in the Umbra. You'll be making at least 2 stops before you return to me. The first, you'll be facing down the Nemean Lion. Do you know what that is?
Kyle is Anthony and Kyle are both giddy.
The lion that I believe his name's Hercules fought with.
Mm.
You'll be facing him down. Be taking his pelt. I then want you to infuse it with 3 spirits: honor, pride, and compassion. You're then to take this imbued pelt to Lion himself, member of Griffin's brood. And you need to convince him to don this pelt. And if you can successfully do that, return to me. And we'll celebrate.
He looks, he smiles, and kind of fist bumps the air. He says, kind of like in the heart, like clasp with a hand, like, gotcha. Thank you, Raya.
You're welcome. I'd recommend taking help with you. You're not Hercules.
Is he looks a little distraught when you say you should probably get help. All right.
If you want to try it by yourself, you're welcome to, and I will sorely miss you. But you seem like a nice lad so far.
He smiles back.
Out of Gaia, you say?
Mm.
Though a daughter of Stag, I work for Unicorn.
I think I carry Black Unicorn's zeal for justice and passion. It just comes off a little strongly in me.
That's nothing to feel bad about.
I'm just excited. Gosh, let's do it.
Do you know your way to the legendary realm?
I've been to one, but assuming that there's more than one.
I think there, in some ways, it is one, but it's like the legends of one type are in this area, while the legends of another type are over in this one. And then legends of another type are over there, and another type are over there.
Mm,
It's like the further in you go, the older the legends are.
I see.
Is there anything else you wish?
Um, I had an inquiry, totally unrelated.
All right.
Um, how does one go about? Actually, what's your opinion on same-sex relationships?
You will notice her face kind of blush and like she looks a little flushed. I have no qualms with them. they're they bring out passion in people, and that's something that we Fiona cherish. If you don't get that passion with the opposite sex, then by all means get it with the same sex.
The thing is, I think that I'm trying to work out a right and what spirits I would go after, and essentially it would allow same-sex couples to same-sex those that can already breed, no offense, to have children, biological ones, that is.
You can tell that she's thinking about that. It's similar to something the Koraks do, but I'm not sure how that would work for a Geru.
Do you know of any?
Koraks, we used to deal with them back in Ireland. There was one back in New York that I saw on occasion, and there were a few down in the Amazon when I was down there fighting.
You went to the Amazon?
Aye, I earned my rank of foster in there.
And if you could see somebody with a look of like pure glee upon their face, and you lived,
Aye, even when I think there was nigh on 300 skull pigs that stampeded the sept. They broke through one of the lines, so we had to fall back. But we managed to hold them off at the Cairnheart.
I
Not
will
one
de-
made it past us.
I will definitely drink with you. I need to hear this story.
Then we'll have to get out of the water. My bag's over there. Has the whiskey in it.
He smiles. Do you want me to get your bag, or do you?
I'm not going to drink sitting in the water. Might get water in it.
Makes sense. And he
She rises.
gets out of the water, and with that, do you know of, before we begin with the story, you know of any other changing breeds? I know that Guru obviously, but and I've heard of Garol, but I've never actually met one. And
I've never met a girl myself. I have met and aided the Mokole, which are, let's see, some would say some of them are lizards, some of them are dinosaurs, some of them are more like a dragon. I've seen dragons, lizards, and dinosaurs all in the same room. I've worked with the Bastet, made an alliance with them while we were in the Amazon,
okay,
actually. And what else? The Koraks, ravens. There's also the Amazots, though I think they're pretty much dead at this point. I think we pretty much killed them off. They were the children of Bat.
okay,
We thought that, well, not we, the Gary at the time, because they needed to drink blood. Uh, the Gary thought that they were, especially like the Shadow Lords and such, having fought the vampires and leeches back in Eastern Europe, thought that they were uh, evil wormish creatures and slaughtered them. I went to the atrocity realm. I experienced that fight myself. Tried to save him, but Eventually, we all fell.
It would.
I'm sure there's others, but those are the ones I know about.
It has to be more. Um, it looks like Kyle has like a whole bunch of questions, but um, one thing at a time. Tell me about the
She
Amazon.
she pulls out the bottle, pops it open, takes a swig, and offers it over to him.
Takes a swig.
All right, the Amazon. Let's see. I was telling you about the bottle of with the 300 skull pigs that charged, trying to drive us from the sept. It was quite a battle. That there were piles of corpses, skull pigs everywhere. I think they used to once be a Gaian creature before they were twisted and tainted by the worm. Perhaps a pig shifter, even. I don't know. But I was fighting shoulder to shoulder with folks like Ogle Fangs first, my sept that came down with us, number of other folk. It was an amazing battle. The skull pigs were attacking in Tellurian side, and they were sending bands in Umbral side. Oh, that was quite a battle. There was also a creature. He called himself the Elder God. I'm not entirely sure if that's what he was. Oh, there's also shark shifters. I don't remember if he said what they called themselves, but he turns into a shark. I ran into one of them there too. But anyways, this elder god folk was trying to remake the world the way he wanted, kind of fusing the Tellurian and Umbra into one, slowly like spreading out like a plague almost. And that battle was very difficult. You had these stones of power. Anytime you touched them, they would drain gnosis from you. So you had to be careful when, because you needed to rewrite them because you had them written for words of fear and such. So I was rewriting on them Gaian words to counter them, and nearly died doing that. But we managed to, by weakening him that way, we were then able to slay him, even though he turned most of the land around him into lava. Kind of reminds me of a Nexus crawler that way. Grizzly creatures. Anyways, we ended up calling on the power of Helios to fully incinerate the last remnants of him that he might never return. Shortly after that, we were given permission to return to our sept in New York.
Permission.
We were sent to the Amazon by the king that died. What was his name? I don't even remember now.
Hmm.
The new king that's been in there for, I don't remember how long has it been? A year or so. The new one demanded that we be returned to our sept, that we'd paid our penance for killing off one of the houses, silver thing. I guess he thought it was a challenge to his authority. They came to kill one of our sept. We stood up and defended ourselves. Our sept mate, you know.
Mm. No, I get it. I mean, we did the same thing here for a cub.
Good on you for that.
Yeah. he I why are you guys really here?
Why are we here? I'm here to help Miss Dazzles have her baby.
No, why are you here?
I was summoned by Dazzles to help her with her pregnancy and her baby. I'm a midwife, a healer, bit of a doctor. I've experience with medicine, being one. The
um
others, my packmate came with me because my packmate didn't want me to come alone. She'd run off to home, back to Silvertara to talk with folks about something, and brought back company with us. Guess they want to get out and about. I don't know. They outrank me, so I don't have a reason or right to question them.
okay. Perception empathy?
Go for it. Or dice roller two.
Okay. Oh, no successes.
She's probably telling the truth. She doesn't. She doesn't seem to have any reason to lie at the moment that you can tell. And nothing really changed in how she was talking.
He looks at her. It looks as if he's searching her expression, and you can tell that he's uncomfortable that so many Fianna came at once, and them seeming to want to help is odd to him.
Fair enough.
You specifically, why do you want to help?
Because those that outrank me summoned me to aid because they'd heard about me and know that I'm good at what I do.
She, based on your deeds and what you've done, you would have gotten some flack, but no one conservative would have faulted you for saying no.
Your Sept Alpha and Dazzles herself both outrank me, and I had no reason not to come.
I have another question for you. This one a bit more intrusive.
I'll listen to your question then.
Um, I haven't come in contact with the one metis I actually came in contact with was killed for being sloppy and has a fair deal of trouble coming after those she was with for their actions. But there was always a question that this sept is different than a lot of other septs. And the only other sept that I saw was a Black Fury sept, and it was very I wasn't actually able to ask any questions without Being spoken to like an inferior.
Understandable. Black fairies tend to get that way when new men are around.
I didn't take it personally. It's just the fact of the matter. But growing up and being around and seeing as much life as you have, what's it like as it matters?
Oh, that is quite a question. All right. What is it like as a mess?
I have no concept of it. I've always seen them as warriors, and I've had no reason to hold a prejudice.
Some rumors say that metas, especially the large number of us that are coming about lately, are a sign of the apocalypse. So they've always been kind of looked at with fear and skepticism. Being a metis is not easy. It took me almost a year before I left my home sept and started really proving myself to the world, to the spirits mostly, that I know what I'm doing and such. Not to say that I'm perfect, far from it, but metas are expected to do at least twice as much work, and you're likely not to get much, if any, recognition. So, not getting that recognition can make it a bit difficult at times. You know, you see the Homid folk. Yeah, you did this. Thank you. That's so grand of you. I met you're more likely to just get a look from somebody in charge, and if they even give you half a smile, that's bounds better than being told you should have done it better, brought back less dead. You should have died in their place. We're expected to be the first to die. Our life is simply fight. That's why a lot tend to fall to the worm. I wouldn't say that they claim that we're worm tainted, and that's part of the problem. If anything, from what I know of biology and creatures and such, I'd say it's actually more likely wild taint that causes us to have a deformity. Um, think of it kind of like inbreeding. If you're too closely related to the person you're mating with, like amongst like humans, um, if you're too closely related, the child's going to be deformed in some way. That's kind of what it is with Geru on a metis, is that same natural wild deformity. I got lucky. Mine's not a visible one, but generally it's hard, especially in the Fiona. And we have a fair number of them because our people tend to get passionate, and when you're having those flares of passion and you've been drinking, you do something that you don't necessarily normally think about doing, and as such, accidents happen. I'm glad to hear that we finally stopped throwing babes off cliffs and such. I know I was one of the last ones that they threw off the day. I got lucky though. A branch caught me. A branch that they say hadn't been there in times past when they've been out there. There hadn't been any plant life growing out there. They just cast the child to the ocean and rocks below. But they heard my cries still after they cast me off and decided that since Gaia put a branch there and caught me, that perhaps they should stop doing this. Perhaps that's her way of saying you're overdoing it a bit.
Uh, at this point, um, yeah, we can do it that way. And he will. I won't ask you to play two characters because I'm immensely enjoying this. But Kyle will send a text to Desiree, and he'll kind of ask her, "Can you come here?"
You get a text back. Where is here?
Fiona Camp by the lake.
Do you get a text back on my way?
All right, with that, he will wait for Desiree to get there. I want to ask you
As
to
she approach,
go ahead.
as she approaches, you see her kind of light up a little bit,
Hmm?
and she says, "Hello, Alana Raya." Alana just smiles. Hi, lass. Good to see you again.
And he'll kind of pat the ground next to him.
I
Then
come and
he'll
sit beside you.
and just so you don't repeat this all over again, he will ask you if you're okay with it to repeat what you just told him.
She'll nod and repeat all of that all over again.
And he won't look to Desiree, but he's gonna ask one more question. So this next question might seem completely weird, but and a little insensitive, and you don't have to answer it. Um, being that you went through so much, do you hate your parents?
I never met my parents. They were killed for what they'd done.
No, no. I mean, like you
Do
don't
I
hold
resent them for giving birth to me?
more so that.
No. I've done a lot of good for the nation. I like to think I've done a lot of good for the nation, at least.
He'll look, and it just seems like he has a lot on his head right now. And
You see her glance to Desiree with a kind of, is this look on her face? She's not very good at hiding those anything on her face because she only has 2 dots for manipulation and no
mhm,
subterfuge. Uh, and Desiree just kind of blushes and nods. And she just kind of gives a small smile and nods.
mhm. I can't feel that. A certain part of me would feel that it's entirely selfish to.
Want a child with the person you love?
No, not the act of having a child. It's the act that
But the nation will look down upon him and down upon you.
no, I'm not. I don't so much care about me. Like it's whatever. Like It's
because
one
they
of
look
the,
down upon her.
I consider her more important than me. He just kind of flat out says. And my if I would ever do something like that, I I I don't think I could live with myself if I brought a child into the world that was like that. That I gave them an intentionally more difficult life.
So here's a little analogy, perhaps, that might help you. If you were just a human
Hmm.
and you knew that your child was going to have a deformity, would you still have the child? Even though they were going to have a tougher life? Or they might have a disease that will slowly turn them into a cripple over time? There's that famous fella, really smart lad. God, what's his name? Stephen Hawkins. His parents knew he'd have that disease. He was born, grew up, and he's been a brilliant man.
I would counter and say that humans are a great deal more tolerant than Guru.
Not to those that are different, that are crippled in some way, deformed, mentally ill. These are all common things that we have to deal with. Humanity can be just as cruel, if not crueler.
I just feel that I would want my kids to have everything I didn't.
And what did you not have that you want them to have?
Oh, I don't know. He'll laugh. Supportive parents, for one, but
If you had a child that was metis, would you support them?
of course I would. But I don't. I would want to fight all of their battles for them.
That's grand. That's what most parents want to do. There's also battles that they're going to have to fight on their own. They have to learn to stand on their own 2 feet someday. Because there'll come a time when you're not there to fight the battles. Be it you've gone to another sept, you're off in some umbral's plane, uh, or worst comes to worst, you're dead. They'll have to be able to take care of themselves. So teaching them to be somewhat independent and such might be something to consider. Whether they're Homid or Metis, or Lupus if you so wish. They're still going to have to learn, understand. A supportive parent will go far with that.
I just don't want them to grow up with the shame of that's associated with being a menace. Not saying that you have anything to be ashamed of. It's just people are stupid and ignorant.
That they are. That's why you have to be. I took 15 years before I finally changed. By that time, you could have. A lot of the elders of the nation could be long since dead, and you could be rising to a prestigious rank and be helping to form change. if that's what you so wish. Take away that shame.
It's a lot to consider.
Aye, that it is. If you
I
love
just
somebody, don't worry about a child. If a child comes, it's just a sign from Gaia that that love is acknowledged. There is no greater love than that of a parent for their child. You have to be the change you want to see. People will find it uncomfortable because change is uncomfortable. It's different. They're not used to it. But if that change is what you want, being uncomfortable is okay.
yeah. And with that, he'll kind of like hold Desiree's hand a little tighter. And I just wanted your perspective. That's all.
The nation as it is right now, and probably for quite some time because opinions on such matters aren't going to change overnight. It will be a hard life, but if they're supported and shown love and compassion, they'll have an amazing girl and an amazing child.
Thank you. Um, thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. I look forward to seeing you return.
He'll smile. It'll be a grand day.
That it will.
And with that, he'll probably get up from his perch and um kiss Desiree on the cheek. I gotta go take care of some things, but we'll talk later.
She'll smile and nod. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll see you later.
Hmm. And with that, he's gonna like go off and go off in the Umbra. He has to go do a thing. And if we can fit this both into the same scene, I want to pick up the gift, this downtime spirit of the fray, and I want to speak to a jagling of, I guess, rabbit,
Okay,
and uh, no, gaffling, a smaller one,
okay.
and a spirit of rabbit would have spirit of the fray, right?
What does the gift say?
Um, hold on. Bop, 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 bop. It's a cat spirit, so I'm going to a cat.
Okay.
So the lowest rank of cat, not cat himself.
All
And
right.
I will get a saucer of milk and infuse it with 2 points of gnosis. And what else? 2 points of gnosis, and yeah, I will perform rite of summoning.
Okay.
I will take 3 hours.
Okay.
He will place the before he begins like the summoning, so the milk doesn't spoil. He'll put the milk inside his magpie swag, so cat doesn't get spoiled milk.
Okay.
Um, so what's my difficulty?
For the little one, like 4,
Okay.
you're actually at 3 if you're taking 3 hours
Yeah. So
to summon them at least.
that's more than five.
Yeah,
If you count my specialty in mystic rites, and it's
you summon it. It shows up right away. You feel a rubbing against your leg like a
mhm,
cat,
uh
and you see a small little black and white cat.
mhm. He will hand it the his offering. No, actually, before he hands over the offering, uh he will give a hand over a point of gnosis to the cat. I
Okay.
have something to ask of you, little one. Would you
Right,
be
meow.
right? Meow.
Hmm.
Can you teach me how to move fast like you?
Mm. But I want to lay down in the sun.
I'll lay with you in the sun, and I have this for you.
Mm.
As he hands over the saucer of milk.
Ooh, in the kettle. Lap up the milk some, and then find a nice little spot in the sun and kind of just sprawl out. Going fast is a lot of work. Takes focus, determination. You have to want to be fast. Do you want to be fast? And it kind of does that really long cat whole body stretch.
He says yes.
Mm. Then I suppose that is quite the saucer of milk. But being fast, how fast are you now?
Somewhat fast.
Show me.
If I want to show the cat how he will
Dex
sprint.
athletics.
Okay. That would happen on the roll I needed it to be. He falls flat on his face.
No, it's a fail, not a botch.
Mhm,
So yeah, you go jogging a little bit and come back. The cat looks up at you. I see why you want to be fast. I wouldn't call that somewhat fast though.
mhm,
He kind of rolls over and looks back at you over his shoulder.
mhm,
If you want to be fast, think of it like you're always chasing prey. You're always thinking ahead. It's not just about the body, it's also the mind. Fast isn't simple, it's work, it's effort. Try thinking about being fast when you run this time.
Okay.
And I want you to roll which is higher, dex or wits?
Wait.
Then roll wits athletics.
Nah.
Better.
One better.
And see, you just need to think more about what you're doing until it becomes second nature. When you thought about the running. It went much better.
Hmm.
And practice that. And leave me out some milk. Every day for a couple weeks. Doesn't need to be this specially delicious kind of milk, but just milk.
Will do.
And I'm sure in time you'll figure out how to be faster.
He will thank the spirit and kind of rub his head. Thank you.
He just purrs.
And with that, we will call it a scene.
All right. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good night.